Welcome to our podcast. My name is Judy Durst, and I'm the Director of Education for the New Hampshire Association of Insurance Agents. With me today is Justin Moulton of the National Council on Compensation Insurance, also known affectionately as NCCI. Justin will be presenting a Q&A session during our upcoming professional development days. Justin, tell us a little bit about your background and your company.
Thank you, Judy. I'd actually like to start out by thanking the NHAIA for the opportunity to be part of your upcoming professional development days. My insurance career started right out of college. After I graduated from Babson College, I joined the Travelers Financial Management Leadership Development Program. And I was with Travelers for 19 years, serving a bunch of different roles, and most recently served as their Senior Regulatory Director for State and Bureau Regulatory Affairs. In 2017, I joined NCCI as their New England State Relations Executive. And, thinking about my current role, I'm responsible for all regulatory and legislative affairs throughout the region. That includes things like rate and loss cost filings, legislative pricings, rule and form filings, appeals mechanisms, and residual market issues. Thinking about NCCI more big picture, NCCI was founded in 1923 with a mission to foster a healthy workers' compensation system. So in that role, in addition to managing the workers' comp system's rules and forms infrastructure, we also serve as a licensed rating and advisory organization in 36 states.
Uh-huh.
So with that, we collect workers' compensation data from over 800 insurance companies. And in fact, we have the broadest and deepest workers' compensation database in the industry. So that data that we collect, we use that to analyze and report on industry trends, make rate and loss cost filings, and really provide objective legislative analyses. When a bill is introduced, to the extent that we can put a price tag on it, we'll do that. And then, ultimately, we serve as a resource to the departments of insurance, the departments of labor, legislators, and system stakeholders to provide data-driven insights that are important to understanding our industry.
Sure, absolutely. Wow, I never realized that NCCI started when workers' comp was in its infancy, when the states were just starting to put in place those kinds of regulations. I had no idea, and I had no idea the scope of what NCCI does. And I've been in the business for 45 years, so it's a little bit of a surprise to me. So what are we seeing? What are you seeing for trends in workers' compensation?
Well, Judy, as you can imagine, COVID-19 is a big topic when it comes to workers' compensation. And we, in fact, have set up a dedicated resource on our website, ncci.com. It's our COVID Resource Center that is dedicated to the topic. And the intent is to make it easy for people to find answers and insights related to the potential impacts of COVID-19 on workers' compensation. A byproduct of the COVID-19 pandemic, obviously, is the impact that it's had on the U.S. economy. And with workers' compensation premiums being driven by payroll, the correlation is very direct. The one thing that I will share is, it appears that the decline in non-COVID claims due to the decline in the economy is offsetting the increase in claims related to COVID. So an interesting fact there. COVID presumptions are also a very hot topic. They've been established in a number of jurisdictions over the past year. As you may be familiar, New Hampshire currently has a presumption in place for first responders, and that was established by executive order. Other states in the region run the gamut. Some states still have no presumption at all. Other states have a presumption that was established through legislation. But thinking about other topics, moving on from COVID, legalization of marijuana is another thing that we consistently keep our eyes on. It's actually this past legislative session, 5 additional states have legalized marijuana, either medicinally or recreationally. So there are, it continues to, become, legalized for different purposes across the country. There's still only 3 states that have not legalized it in any form. But marijuana is relevant to workers' compensation in a number of regards. Thinking about, number one, whether it's reimbursable, if it's prescribed to an injured worker. The other aspect is whether claims are compensable if a worker tests positive for the use of marijuana at the time they're injured. And then the final aspect is whether it could serve as an alternative to opioids in pain management cases. And then, the other thing that we keep an eye on is mental injuries. That's received a lot of attention lately, thinking particularly about post-traumatic stress disorder. It's a trending topic, and more than 50 bills were introduced countrywide last legislative session, and 5 of those passed.
Wow. Hot topic.
For sure.
All right. What kind of information do you hope to convey to the audience during your Q&A session?
Well, first, I believe that professional development is really important. Not just to continue learning, but to keep current on industry trends. As an example, I earned my CPCU in 2017, and just last year earned my Workers' Comp Professional WCP designation. I'm also serving as the president of the Connecticut chapter of the CPCU Society. So definitely professional development is really important, at least in my mind. And so thinking about the upcoming session, I'm really hopeful that it will provide participants with insights related to workers' compensation that'll help them stay current. Not only understanding what's happening in workers' compensation, but also understanding what tools are available to them. We recently made an enhancement to our coverage verification tool that will provide updates. You can kind of subscribe to notifications on that. In addition, there's activity related to modernizing our manuals to make them easier to use for everybody. Agents, carriers, everybody, I think, would appreciate that effort. And we have additional information on that. And then, other online resources that can be accessed through our Learning Center on ncci.com. So I think really, kind of capturing all of that would be a great takeaway for those who, join us.
Great. Excellent. Well, it sounds like it's going to be a very, very interesting session. And I thank you very much for your time. And hopefully we'll have a lot of very interesting questions for you from the people who are signing up for the classes. Thank you very much.
Yeah, looking forward to the opportunity.
This podcast was sponsored by Cooperative Insurance Companies. Professional Development Days will be offered virtually April 1st, 6th, and 15th, and will feature question and answers, fun and games, and continuing education courses. For more information about our Professional Development Days, NCCI, or our sponsor, Cooperative Insurance Companies, please check the description below. Thank you.